Alright. Oh, let me drink my water real quick. Alright, how's everybody doing? I hope everyone's doing great. I hope everyone's doing amazing because I know I am. Let's see, my name is Shad, I'm a motion designer and I'm learning to draw every day just to prove to people that it's not that hard. Now, alright, I think I've made like some progress when it comes to the naming of the muscles. So I'll just, even though like I may not remember it or remember them on the spot, as soon as it's going to be said in the future videos, I'll know what the hell he's talking about, which I'm fine with. Alright, so today's video is about joints. So first of all, let's hop on Photoshop. Or actually, yeah, sure, we'll hop on Photoshop, show Photoshop first, and then let me delete these. Okay. Sakamoto days. Oh my god, this thumbnail is scary. Let's delete these. Stop the music. Properties, VLC. Look at this, very scary.
The joints of the skeleton define the motion of the body and its limitations.
Nice.
Types of joints in the human body. As artists, we really only need to learn the synovial joints.
Synovial joint, okay. The thing is, I forgot all of my notebooks, literally the big ones and the two small ones at my desk there. So, oh, never mind. Here we go. A pen would be great. Awesome. I drew this yesterday, by the way. These are just like for the body. This, kind of proud of like this. Like I'm drawing this like effortlessly, which is interesting. And this is the pectoral side, sort of, whatever you want to call it. All right, so synovial.
Welcome to another episode of Proko. This lesson is about the types of joints in the human body. As artists, we really only need to learn the synovial joints. Like the shoulder and the knee, because they move. Joints that are fibrous and cartilaginous hardly move, and some, like the connection of the two pubic bones, don't move at all.
Right.
When you're learning how to draw, pay attention to synovial joints, and keep your thoughts away from pubic bones. If you know where the joint is on this foot, you know that it won't do this, or this, when you stand on your toes. It will do this. We need to know the position of the joint to make squash and stretch look like the real thing.
Nice.
Synovial joints. There are 6 types of synovial joints. They have varying shapes, but the important thing about them is the movement they allow. Joints determine what position our bodies can take. We learn them to invent poses, and we learn the limits to stretch the limits. The movement of these joints is limited by 3 things. The first is ligaments, which are tissue connecting bone to bone.
Ligaments, tissues, connecting bone to bone.
They hold the bones together and sometimes prevent them from rotating in certain directions. Muscles can limit movement by simply colliding with each other. When the knee flexes, the calf muscle presses against the hamstrings. Muscles can also be stretched to their limit. If our muscles are tight, this limits the range of motion. That's why we stretch at the gym, so we can function and move rather than just look good. And finally, the structure of the joint can limit the joint's movement, such as with the elbow joint, when the olecranon, that's the elbow, hits the depression on the humerus. After this point, the elbow can't extend any farther. The elbow joint, when the olecranon, that's the elbow,
The electanon? Wait, let me look that up. The electanon? Am I? That is not how it's written. The elections. Wow. No. Electanon? Bone? Okay. Elbow. Olecranon. Oh. How did I hear electanon? Olecranon. Yes. The olecranon. Which is... Okay, I see you. It's this one. It's this one right here.
look good. And finally, the structure of the joint can limit the joint's movement, such as with the elbow joint, when the olecranon,
Oh my god. Is it inside? Great.
that's the elbow, hits the depression on the humerus. After this point, the elbow can't extend any farther.
Mm-hmm.
The 6 types of synovial joints.
Wait, so olecranon and the humerus. Yes, the humerus.
Are hinge, pivot, ball and socket,
Ooh.
ellipsoid, saddle, and plane.
Interesting. We have all of these types in our bodies? Wow. Okay. I'm gonna take it this is like I can see like the leg being just like bent like this. I don't know how this works. Maybe this is like with the neck? Like some bone in the neck, we can do this. Basically we can make our heads like this. So maybe that works. Maybe it's either this one or this one. I really don't know much about the difference. This is with the arm, the olecranon and the humerus. And I don't know, is this even a joint?
Of synovial joints are hinge, pivot,
Hinge, pivot,
ball and socket,
pivot. What do we pivot? Is it maybe the torso? Ball and socket,
ellipsoid,
ellipsoid,
saddle,
saddle,
and plane.
plane.
Let's go through them one by one.
Okay.
The hinge joint.
The hinge joint.
The hinge is a very simple joint.
Okay, let me actually try to draw it. So this is like this, and then we have this like here, right? Right? And then we have this right here, it extends. There you go. Goes there, boom. There you go. And then we have this, and then it keeps going from there to there. There you go.
It allows movement only on one axis.
Yep.
Its structure prevents rotation this way or this way. The head of the bone wraps around the cylindrical head of the other, allowing a very stable rotation this way.
Sure.
Going back to the terminology from last week,
Flexion.
the hinge joint allows flexion and extension. That's it. That's all it does.
It allows flexion and extension.
But it does it well. Like the hinges on a door, allow it only to open or close. The best example of it is the elbow. Here's the rotation on a simplified skeleton. Flexion and extension. And here it is on a real person. So, if the elbow only allows flexion and extension, how is it that we're able to twist the forearm? Well, let's take a look at the next joint, the pivot joint. The pivot joint also allows rotation at only one axis. However, it rotates along the long axis. A cylindrical bone fits into a ring of bone and ligament, like the radial ulnar joint just below the elbow. The cap on the radius bone fits nicely into this notch on the ulna bone. Ligaments complete the ring, holding the bone in place and allow the radius only to rotate inside of it. The result on the forearm is what we call pronation and supination. During pronation, the base to rotate inside of it. The result on the forearm is what we call pronation and supination. During pronation, the base of the radius rotates over and around the head of the ulna. The ulna stays relatively still. Remember, the hinge joint at the elbow prevents the ulna from twisting. So all of that twisting happens at the radius. And by the way, the distal joint of the ulna and radius is also a pivot joint. The combination of the pivot at the top and at the bottom creates that twisting motion for pronation and supination. Here's what it looks like on a real person. Supination, pronation. Supination, and pronation. supination, pronation. Supination,
Okay, we get it.
pronation. The ball and socket joint. The ball and socket is the champion of all joints. Hooray for the ball and socket. Its structure is just like how it sounds. A ball inside of a socket. This simple and effective structure allows it to move in all axes. Flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, rotation, and circumduction.
Wow.
The two ball and socket joints of the body are at the hip and the shoulder. The hip has a deep socket, which gives it stability, but limits some range of motion. The shoulder joint has a shallower socket, which gives it greater range of motion, but takes away some stability. Maybe that's why a dislocated shoulder is so common. Ouch. Here's Ryan again to show us the ball and socket articulation of the shoulder.
They oiled my boy up.
The ellipsoid joint. The ellipsoid joint.
Wait, so it's gonna call it transform and rotation in all. Well, I mean, not transform, obviously, but rotation in all directions. Ellipsoid
joint is very similar to a ball and socket. However, the ligaments and its oval shape prevent rotation. But it still has the ability to rotate on two axes, which allows flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, and circumduction.
So it allows rotation on all axes but one, right? Which is rotation. So it's rotation around the Z, I'd say, around the Z. And it could be different.
Circumduction is just a combination of all the others in a circular motion. The ball, or oval head, also slides inside the socket. When it rotates along the wider plane, you can see how it pops out too much from the socket.
Yeah.
So it slides back into center. A great example of an ellipsoid joint is the wrist, also known as the radial carpal joint. The group of carpal bones rotate inside the socket of the radius.
Sure.
And here's how it looks like on a real person.
Okay, well, what is the axis where it doesn't?
The saddle joint.
Wait. You can't just do that. Which axis does it not allow me to rotate in? Maybe these? This is the most limited, this is not limited. This is not limited. Oh, yeah, it's this one. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Like the one on the wrist.
The saddle joint is similar to the ellipsoid, but the rotation is limited mostly because of the bone structure. The structure of the saddle is very interesting.
So, like the ellipsoids, but a different structure. And why is that? So there's this idea, right? Son of a gun. That's okay.
The saddle joint is similar to the ellipsoid, but the rotation is limited mostly because of the bone structure. The structure of the saddle is very interesting. Both bones have a concave and convex surface. Convex means the surface sticks out like a hill. Concave means the surface curves in like a hole or a cave. The concave plane of one fits on the convex plane of the other.
Right.
It's like a 3D yin-yang, or a cowboy on a horse. The saddle makes the bottom piece, and the cowboy's legs make the top piece. The legs of the top piece, which wrap around the body of the bottom piece, allow a rotation this way. The body of the top piece can glide inside the legs of the bottom piece.
Right.
So this unique structure allows the joint to flex, extend, abduct, adduct, circumduct, and very slightly rotate. An example of the saddle joint on the body is the carpometacarpal joint of the thumb. Let's see that baby in action. Finally, the plane joint. Not really as interesting as the others, but deserves our love anyway. It's basically two flat-ish surfaces, one on top of the other. These surfaces can glide or rotate. They usually come in groups, like the carpals of the hand.
Right. Rotation only in one axis.
And the tarsals of the foot. Ligaments hold these bones together, but might allow some rotation and gliding. Another plane joint is the acromioclavicular joint. That's the one between the clavicle and acromion process of the scapula.
Okay.
When we elevate the shoulder, the angle in here will adjust to keep the scapula vertical. The spine.
What?
I mentioned in the beginning that the cartilaginous joints are not important for artists, except for one big important case, the spine. Your vertebrae have a flexible disc between them, which allows a little movement that adds up to a lot. They're like a well-groomed team. When they all do their job, the result is elegant. When one fails to show up for work, the whole thing falls apart. And like team members, they have different responsibilities. Each section has different structure, so the range of motion is different. We'll talk about that next time, when we explore the spine in detail. The spine is the core of the whole body. It's the thing out of which all the other parts grow. We need a trunk before we can grow branches. Assignments. For this lesson, there's 2 assignments. The first assignment is to find these joints on yourself and study the movement. I've posted 6 close-up images of Skelly's joints in the description under this video. Your second assignment is to draw them as simple versions. When you try to put them into perspective, you might find it difficult. But I will have Your second assignment is to draw them as simple versions. When you try to put them into perspective, you might find it difficult. But I will have Marshall Vandruff help you understand how to do it. Post your drawings in the Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/anatomy for artists. Marshall, the perspective master, will help to critique your assignments and move. Remember, it really helps.
Alright, that was interesting. That was joints. So we'll try to draw joints in a very simple manner, I suppose. But for now, I think I want to draw like a quick sketch, really, because I miss doing that. And then we're gonna end the stream, inshallah. Pinterest. Let's go on here. Come on. No. Nice. Nice. I like this. Let's do this one. Is my brush too thick? I guess it is, but it's okay. Alright, let me figure out this line. And then we have straight up just like this. Maybe we'll go a little bit lower. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. There it is. And this one goes like this. We'll do it like this, and then we'll see. Alright. And then this one just goes right here. What we see is like sort of like this, really. Right? So then we go here. And it goes in. Right from here we have the buttocks. It's at here. Dude, I think it can be even larger. Right? Because right here it extends to this end, so we can make it even larger. Oh, but no, wait. That's not it, is it? No, that's it. Right? And then this one actually, what happens is we have this and this right here. It's a straight line. Right, but it goes this way. And this one goes like this. go. So we just have to find like a good place to start her garment. Right? Now we have the chest. The chest is important here. So what we have is this, right? And this one goes like this. Okay. Now we have this right here. Very nice shoulder, like it's built. Now we have this area right here, this sort of like blank almost. I think we can go higher with this one. Whoops. So we can go like this. Right, and it ends right here. Son of a gun, come on. There you go. And I have this arm extended, very long. Is the head too large? No, I think it's fine. I think it's good. There you go, and for this, I just wanna maybe not do the whole thing, yeah, let's just keep it tasteful. Okay, that's it. All right, this is easy. Now I think this is easy for me now. I think what I should be focusing on more right now is the way I, make my lines. Alright, that's it. The hand that's going up is a little bit wobbly, but it's okay. Overall, this is not bad. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. I think I need to memorize all these joints now. So, yeah. Alright, peace out.